Okay, I'm Jessica Dilling. I am an educational specialist at Child and Family Development at Midtown, and we have a great group of clinicians here to share some back to school tips for elementary age students. It's a wide range of just tips and a few things to be thinking of at the beginning of the school year. So we're going to start with Dr. Gretchen Hunter, who's going to share some of her ideas.
Hi, I'm a licensed psychologist, and we get a lot of questions from parents about kids feeling anxious about returning to school. And so I found a really nice resource that captures some good ideas from Johns Hopkins and wanted to share. So tips to ease back to avoid school anxiety. So lots of kids are feeling keyed up and excited to meet their teacher and are nervous, but give you some ideas about red flags that if a child's anxiety is really causing a great deal of distress, if they're avoiding normal activities, physical symptoms like stomach aches or difficulty sleeping alone, separation anxiety or big tantrums when it's time to go to school, or other kinds of behavioral concerns might be a red flag related to separation anxiety or school anxiety. And so some ideas that we've used with a variety of kids over the past: start helping kids get ready a week or two ahead of time about their bedtimes, picking out their clothes and starting to, get back in the swing of things. Other kinds of ideas are accessing familiar peers or social support. So reaching out to other families that attend your school, having play dates can really help kids with their emotional adjustment and feeling confident at school. And then rehearsal about driving by the school, going through the carpool line, looking at the website, visiting the playground can really help a kid be able to picture themselves feeling calm when the school year opens. Make sure to try to get to meet the teacher or any open house or ability to access the school building. And also practice walking to their classes. And really recognizing that this can be a really stress-inducing situation for kids. And so it's totally reasonable to come up with a prize or a rewarding activity if they, are brave and separate nicely to go into school, really celebrate those success. Lots of good talking about emotional identification of their feelings, validating how they're feeling, that when you try a new activity, it can be overwhelming at first, but then soon their body gets more used to it, they feel more calm, and then it gets to be easy and fun. And then other ideas about specifically separation anxiety and the use of social support. Consider carpooling with another child to make, rather than just one parent driving the child, having another parent handle drop off in the morning, so there can be less distress separating from a primary parent, or and then thinking about if a child is having more difficulty over the first couple of weeks, communicating with the teacher or guidance counselor for additional support during morning transitions, having the teacher let the child have a preferred activity first thing to help with transitions. Opportunities to help the teacher can help them feel more connected and less fearful. And then if symptoms persist or even get worse over the first couple of weeks, then that might be time to get support from a mental health professional. And so there's a variety of ways to try to help kids that have more persistent, moderate, or severe forms of anxiety, including therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, or medication to help child manage symptoms and get back to participating in their regular routine.
Great. Perfect. Thanks.
I'm Gail Fenimore, and I'm a physical therapist here at Child and Family Development, and I am going to give some tips on easing toileting when starting school. Every year, I have families who seek my services to address their children's incontinence, which began with the start of school. In elementary grades, 15 to 20% of students in a class are likely to have issues with urinary or bowel continence. These children may never have achieved reliable continence before starting school, have anxiety about school, or may have always had difficulty with toileting when away from home or parents. And some general tips to ease the situation. Gretchen talked about open house and what you can do, but one of the important places that you need to visit in open house is the bathroom. Find it and even use it while you're there with them. Make sure you communicate with the teacher any issues that your child may have around toileting, and be ready to work with the teacher to address your child's needs. For any child in a new classroom, you have to, and as grades progress, sometimes the potties are in the room and sometimes they're down the hall. So checking all that out is super important. Finding out how teachers handle toileting. Can your child go as needed? Is there a schedule for toileting? Must they ask permission? And work out strategies around whatever your teacher's toileting preferences are. Determine if a child can bring water bottles to school. Everybody should drink half their body weight in ounces of water each day, and this will help avoiding issues and constipation. Talk with your child about the importance of toileting as soon as their body gives them a signal. Work with them to never delay toileting. And one of the common issues as you delay toileting and trips to the bathroom and hold urine or stool is that you can develop leaks and even progress to full-blown incontinence. And it's actually pretty dangerous to a child to hold, especially urine, throughout a day. One of the ways you can address that is to check early on when school starts. Ask your child, are they going to the bathroom when they are at school, or as you talk about their day. And it's important when they come home to have a snack and sit on the toilet for at least 3 minutes. Our bodies generally signal us to toilet when we wake up in the morning and after meals and after snacks. Once home, having some relaxation time dedicated to toileting is very helpful for children. Many children develop the habit of pooping in the afternoon when they come home from school and can have some unpressured time to toilet. So this early intervention in toileting is just very important. It avoids a lot of issues. And here's to a great fun school year for your child.
I think that's good information for teachers too, Gail. Definitely.
Okay. Me?
Yeah, you're up, Melinda.
All right. I'm Melinda Schatz. I'm a speech language pathologist at Child and Family at our Midtown location. And I am going to talk a little bit about helping your children talk to you about their day at school. That is something parents often express that they wish that their child would share more with them about what they did during their day. And so I've got some tips for that. One of the first ones is regarding how you ask their child about their day. So you definitely want to avoid questions such as, how was your day? Because that's probably going to elicit one-word answers like, okay, fine. Or did you have a good day today? You're probably going to get, again, a yes or no answer. So asking open-ended questions can be go a long way towards getting a more detailed response from your child. So you could ask them things like, tell me about your PE class today, or what did you do when you were out on the playground, or who did you play with on the playground? Who, what, when, where, why, how questions are going to elicit more detailed responses than the typical, how was your day? Another thing that you can do is share something about yourself, your day. So when somebody shares something about themselves, it's natural that you want to do that in return. So you might say something like, I had a really busy day today, or I had a hard time doing a project on my computer. Or you could even reference back to when we were in school, we played kickball when we went out onto the playground. And so the child in turn is going to want to hopefully share more with you about their day. Now, I think this is a particularly good one in this day and age, because so many teachers have blogs, Facebook pages, Instagrams, Twitter feeds. A lot of our local schools use Class Dojo. So there's a lot more up to date, up to the minute communication coming from classrooms. Sometimes there's pictures of the day and what the kids are doing. So you can, checking these sites out can help you get some ideas for what kind of conversation or where you want to start a conversation, or because you've got some idea of what's been happening in their day. Or you could look at them together and say, oh, look, here's a picture from your classroom. Tell me about it. Ask about their classroom routine. Classrooms are typically run in a routine way, so that there's that predictability there. And so asking your child something about that occurs as part of their daily routine, such as what did you do after math today? I know in my child's school, they have a different special or elective class every day. And so that became our question. What was your special today? Mm-hmm. And so sometimes I would just get what it was, but sometimes I would get a little bit more information. Kids love to talk about their friends. So if you know of any friends that they have in their classroom, sometimes asking about their friend. Well, how was your friend's day today? What did they do? Can encourage your child to open up more. And lastly, I think something to keep in mind is when you ask your child these questions. So you want to be mindful of your child's mood. And so for instance, if you've just picked them up from school, they may be really tired. They may have had a long day. They might just want to settle down or have a snack. They might want to go outside and play. And they're not really in the mood to talk about their day. And so just being mindful of when you ask the question is helpful. Dinner time is a great time for sharing about the events of the day. That's another good reason why it's great for families if they're able to eat dinner together, because that's just a natural time for everybody sharing something about their day. So I hope some of those tips are helpful in helping your child share some more about their school days.
Perfect. Thanks, Melinda. Like I said, my name is Jessica DeLing. I'm one of the educational specialists at our Midtown office, and I'm going to talk a little bit about homework. So homework looks very different for kids in kindergarten than it does for kids in, grades 4 to 6. So the first thing is really knowing teacher expectations. So maybe at open house, or maybe an email before the school year starts, or any of the information that comes home, teachers are pretty good about saying, here's my expectation for homework, and really having a good understanding of it, going over it with your child, and not just assuming that the teacher is going to be doing that. And also knowing, well, if we don't have a homework assignment, kind of knowing firsthand from the teacher, where can I find it? So, maybe things are being sent home in a homework folder for grades K to 3, and you can find it there or in their agenda. Older students might need to access Canvas online or Google Classroom. And so if you have an idea of where you can find those things ahead of time, you can make sure you have the right usernames and passwords. You can talk to your child about making sure that the homework folder is coming home every day. Online classes, switching teachers and having assignments online is going to be much more appropriate for the older students. And different teachers have different expectations. So if they're switching classes for math and English in those upper grades, just kind of being mindful that each teacher might have different thoughts about how they want homework to be turned in or accessed. And that's helpful too to know firsthand, because then if you as a parent have questions about the homework or about a particular assignment, you can already reach out and kind of have that in your already in the back of your mind. The next part about homework that I wanted to share is creating a homework space at home. So generally speaking, we want that to be, kind of a more quiet space that doesn't have a lot of distraction. That being said, it's not always realistic. Families are busy, so sometimes the kitchen island will be where homework is being done, or older students may like to listen to music while they're getting their homework done. And technology, now all of our kids are on Chromebooks or they're using tablets, and so that can kind of be a distraction. So really sitting down as a family and thinking about where's our homework space going to be. So for younger kids, you may want to have some flexible seating. They might need to, maybe the table is a good option, but maybe a beanbag chair with a clipboard is an option. You may want to think for older students, do they have everything they need? Sometimes older students will want to avoid homework, so they may need to get up to get a pencil or get up to get this. And if we have everything right there, that can kind of eliminate some of those distractions. That being said, things that are helpful are technology supports, like apps that can help kind of shut down things like Instagram for those older students, or anything that they shouldn't be on while they're getting their homework done. Also for younger students, timers, visual timers, kitchen timers, those things can help as well. Thinking also about homework and how long it should take, that's something you should also speak to the teacher a little bit about. If you're finding that your child is taking a really long time to get through homework and it's causing a lot of stress and it's causing a lot of fatigue, they're having to keep it together during the school day all day long. And so at home, you may be seeing more of the emotional side of things. So really kind of thinking about how can we modify this to work for our family? Maybe we need to take breaks. Maybe we need to talk to the teacher about a modified assignment. For younger kids, a good example is, doing the reading log. So maybe if reading is difficult, they're not reading to themselves or reading to a parent for 20 minutes a night. Maybe they're on Mondays listening to a book online, and then on Tuesdays, mom's going to read to them. And on Wednesdays, they have to read themselves. So offering that variety to positively engage with a book is the most important thing. But really having that dedicated time is going to be helpful, because they know this is the homework time, and this is when I need to get it done in the homework space. The last part I wanted to share is that, encouraging effort over the end result will go a long way in getting kids to buy into homework time. So like I said, they've been busy, they've been working hard all day. So if your child gets homework, not all teachers give it. So if you are kind of instilling, we're going to have quiet time, or we're going to practice these math flashcards on your own, or if it's a homework assignment from the teacher, just really making sure that we're praising the effort. Wow, you really did a great job. Or having conversations about, I want you to do your best on this. Well, what does do your best mean? It means you checked it you checked your sentences for punctuation before you showed it to me, or setting that expectation that they know this is what it means to do my best. This is what it means to try my best. And then really praising them for doing that. And so those are just a few quick homework tips to help. And then Mallory's going to talk a little bit about some routines.
Yeah. I'm Mallory. I'm an occupational therapist here. And within OT, our goal is to set up children for success in their daily occupations of self-care, equipping them so that they're there and ready to learn through play or through academics, of course. So my goal with my tips is to kind of take everything you just learned and all those things that you're going to need for that return to school and help put them into a routine. Because as majority of the people have discussed, predictability in that structure is really what's going to help children thrive. So we can start by talking about building a routine. Oftentimes during summer, our routines get more relaxed. It allows us to sleep in and enjoy all the fun that summer entails. But as you're beginning that transition back to that early morning wake up call, it's important to start with the night before. So that means beginning to move up that bedtime or like 10 minutes, 15 minutes earlier in increments each night. So then you can set that alarm 10 to 15 minutes earlier the next morning. And you continue this each day until you get to that desired schedule that will allow your child to have the appropriate amount of sleep and allow you guys enough time in the morning to get out the door to school. When it comes to the appropriate amount of sleep, right now, the CDC is recommending for school-age children to that 6 to 12 years old to get 9 to 12 hours of sleep per day. So to get all of that and to get all of these things done that we've talked about, visuals can be really, really helpful to keep everyone aware of what's expected, help everybody stay on track during the tasks, and encourage independence from your child during those tasks. So I printed off a few examples of different schedules that can be used. You can use Velcro, one for the morning, one for the evening, and just a list of all those things that need to be done during the day. You can do simple ones. Within OT, we like to grade them based on your child's age and what we need to have done each day. So it can be changed up, but just signifying in some way that this is what needs to be done and now it is done. So that accomplishment of that checkbox. So they can become more for after school. So like Jessica was talking about, that transition after the long day of school, now I have to come home and do my homework, or I come home and I get ready to eat dinner. And so my day is not done. How can I reset to get ready to do the rest of the things that I need to do? And then of course, as your child becomes more independent, it can become more educational for them to work on time management and things like that. So within the routine, of course, we want to create a routine for the mornings to get all of those daily brush your teeth, get your lunchbox things done before going to school, but we can also create one for the evenings so that we can make sure that we're able to maintain that bedtime. And things to think about in the evenings. We want to avoid screens right before bed. You want to avoid rough and tumble play right before going to bed, and do more of those calming activities that can be great for getting ready for sleep. So a warm bath or deep pressure, reading books, all those great things. Let's see what else. My last tip is another way to bring predictability into that back to school, all the new things that are going to be happening in the classroom, is to allow your child to help pick out those supplies that they need to take. That way they're fun, but they're also functional for them. And if you've already picked out the supplies, they're in their backpack waiting to go to school already, you can always try trialing them out. Take some time to make sure that your kid can take the lid off the marker, that he can zip or unzip their new jacket. And especially want to make sure that they can open containers for lunch, they can open those snack bags and things like that. But if you feel your child is struggling with any of those skills or with any skills within either part of any part of their routine, an OT is there to help kind of create those sensory activities that would help calm or center your child to be ready for those activities.
Perfect. Perfect. So we hope that you enjoyed listening to these tips. If you do have specific questions for any of us or any of the clinicians at Child and Family, you can visit our website and give us a call. We would love to help answer any questions you have, and we hope everyone has a great school year. Thanks.